Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan and today we're going to be doing a team selection / transfers / looking at my game week scores last week. We're going to talk a little bit about captains, but of course we do have time for a captains video this week, so stay tuned for that over the next couple of days. But we're going to look at all about my team this week, and let me tell you guys, before I sort of said about, the season's not going great for me, perhaps I'm not taking enough risks, perhaps I'm not being bold enough, so I'm just going to start messing about a little bit. Not messing about, but still taking some risks, being a bit more brave, being a bit more bold, and playing some really aggressive FPL. So, not necessarily stuff I would recommend to you guys, but hopefully entertaining to watch, and let's see how I got on this week, basically. But before we do that, please like the video if you enjoyed this series. Please subscribe if you're new around here, and a quick word from our sponsor from today's video, and that is, of course, OneFootball. The team selection video series is, of course, sponsored by OneFootball. Now, for those of you who don't know what OneFootball is, it's an excellent app / website for all things football. Now, I've actually been using OneFootball more than usual over the last couple of days because we've got all of these FA Cup fixtures. That's so important. Finding out what's happening in these FA Cup fixtures is going to decide who's having double game weeks, who's not having double game weeks, and I don't necessarily want to watch all the FA Cup fixtures. But what I do want to know is the scores, the results, who's getting subbed off early, are any of my players playing a full 90 minutes. I want to find out all this information, and with OneFootball, I can check all of that out. It's also a great source of football news, transfer rumors, and all that stuff. It's completely free as well, so if you want to go check it out, the link is in my description. Completely free, of course. Go for it, guys. So, first of all, a quick look at my scores from last game week, and as you can see, that's not too bad. 76 points with a -4 taken. I think a necessary -4 just to try and set my team up. Right now, guys, all I'm thinking about is setting my team up for the double game week 26. That's the big one. And we're also going to be thinking about some of the other double game weeks as well that are sort of starting to be announced by now, to be fair. So lots of things being announced. We're going to be careful with our transfers, hold them off for as long as possible, and make sure that we're doing things right. But last game week, I said, right, I'm going to go crazy this game week. I'm going to take some risks, take some bold moves. We're going to, have Rafinha back into our team, 2.4% ownership. We're going to play Adams, 4.4% ownership, bit of a differential there. We're going to just go for it and bring in Nick Pope. Although it didn't work out, he's 14.1% owned, and we know he's got a double game week in game week 24 as well, so he was in, ready to go, so that was really nice. We said, okay, let's captain Son. I'm hearing so many people saying, I don't want to captain Son, I don't trust Spurs right now. I hear this rumour, Harry Kane might be coming back. Okay, that's done it for me. It's West Brom, really, really good fixture for any player, no matter how poorly your team is performing at the time. This is Heung-min Son. He is a good football player. Let's captain him. And that kind of worked out for me this week. So I'm pretty happy about that. Gundogan doing the business as always. Rafinha comes straight in, gets a nice little score. Bamford does okay. Adams gets a jammy free kick assist, but with your differentials, you sort of take these lower scores, don't you? It's still kind of nice to get that. Obviously, I benched Stones because I didn't want to double up on Man City. That turns out to be the right move. Salah, I stuck with him. I think a few people actually wanted to sell Salah last week or bench Salah, and it was kind of like, you can't really bench a player like Salah, and luckily he did come through with that penalty. Was it a dive? Was it not a dive? That's another conversation entirely. Unfortunately, there is, of course, the situation where Martinez got 9 points on the bench instead of Pope, who I just brought in, who only got 2 points. But I look back at that, and with FPL, you've got to question the decision-making ability, or decision-making skills, and not question the result. Last game week, when I look without hindsight, Martinez against Arsenal doing pretty good at the moment. Arsenal probably could have scored in that game. And then you got Pope against Brighton, who struggled to score a little bit more. Burnley a bit more of a defensive team maybe. Aston Villa actually was struggling a little bit for defence over the last few game weeks as well. So when I look back at the decision to question, okay, did I get that one right or wrong? I think I still got that right. I think the decision was right. Although I didn't get as many points, and we can all say in hindsight, I wish I put Martinez in, but a lot of us are in the same boat there. I do still believe that Pope was the right decision, and that's all you can do, is make the right decisions. If it doesn't work out, that's kind of out of your hands. But as long as you're making sensible decisions, then that's all good in the hood. DCL, 12 points. That's a little bit more of a, okay, maybe I could have seen that coming. Maybe I shouldn't have played, Adams I wanted to take a little bit of risk there. Maybe I should have played DCL, knowing that DCL's in slightly better form. But it has to be said, again, a lot of people benched DCL. A lot of people quite rightfully predicted that, you know, it's unlikely that DCL gets a lot of points against Manchester United, where it turns out he got 12. Big money points. Awesome. If you guys played him, well done. That's awesome. I didn't. I didn't really fancy him before that game. Looking back at it, I could kind of see why, okay, yeah, maybe I should have just stuck with DCL. He's in pretty good form, but we won't make that mistake again. But yeah, this is what I'm saying, guys. Try and question the decision-making rather than the result. Playing Pope over Martinez is not a bad decision. That's not a bad decision at all. Benching DCL, that's a slightly worse decision. I don't think it's a horrific decision. I think a lot of us came to the same conclusion with that one, to be honest. So, yes, it's a questionable one, but, you know, what's done is done. 76 points, 72 after you take the -4. That's a pretty decent score. It's a 30k green arrow. I know I'm nowhere near where I want to be because I dropped so many ranks. Last game week had an absolute disaster, but plans are in place. Guys, just trust me. Next couple of game weeks, give me 3 game weeks, we're going to shoot up the ranks. I promise you. I promise you. I know I've got this covered. I really have got this covered. Let me show you how. 101.6 team value. 2.5 in the bank, 1 free transfer. Let's just get this team on the board and then we'll start talking about it. So, Nick Pope, Crystal Palace away and Fulham at home. Now, I've spoken a lot about Burnley players that you might want. If you watched my buy, sell, keep, avoid video yesterday, I said Pope is the guy to get. Now, I actually got him the game week early because I actually wanted the opportunity to see what we can do this game week with transfers, see if what other, you know, double game week fixtures are being announced, what kind of players I fancy, who's getting rested in FA Cup games. I wanted to figure that out this game week, so I made sure I got Pope in early, so I'm happy about that, even though it technically, you know, not having Martinez on the pitch cost me points. You know, I'm still happy to have Pope going forward. This is excellent. Crystal Palace have the least expected goals out of any team in the Premier League over recent games, right? So really low expected goals. And now they haven't got Zaha, they are even worse. So they're going to be really, really hard for Crystal Palace to score, which means clean sheets for Pope. Really, really good. Then we've got Fulham. Fulham have a slightly higher expected goals, but because of the quality in their team, they actually underperform their expected goals by quite a lot. And over the last several games, Fulham have scored the least amount of goals. So we've got the lowest expected goals and the lowest actual goals, and you play them twice in 1 game week. That is very, very good for any defensive player that you might have. And for this team, it's Pope. Pope is a really good player to have this game week. And honestly, I'm predicting big things. He only needs 1 clean sheet, a couple of saves, maybe 1 bonus, and he's already on 10 points. So that's already a smashing, amazing score. His ceiling is like 20 points on this game week. It really is. It could be really good. And he won't even need a penalty save, which is rare to say about a goalkeeper, let me tell you that. But because of the fixtures, because of the player, the kind of player Pope is, makes a lot of saves, gets a lot of bonus points for Burnley. Really, really nice player to have this game week. But let's move on because I don't want to talk too much about Pope. Cancelo. Tottenham and Everton, 2 fixtures for Man City. This is why we've been talking for a long time about let's go all in on this Man City team. Let's triple up on Man City. We're now prepared for this double game week and the plenty more double game weeks that are going to come for City. We're ready to go on that front. So we've got Cancelo, in my opinion, the best defensive asset from Man City. Maybe you could say Diaz because he's slightly more nailed, but Cancelo, in terms of his ceiling, super, super high. We like this a lot. It's why he's 6 million now. Super, super popular player right now, right? Then we've got Chilwell. Obviously, Chilwell is a player I'm not so keen on right now because although he played against Sheffield United and I sort of punted that he would play against Sheffield United. I think he was due to play a game. I don't actually think he's going to play this game against Newcastle. This is a real risky one. So thankfully, because I'm building towards a bench boost, I'm naturally going to have a strong bench. I'm naturally going to have points on my bench, as we kind of saw last game week. There's going to be points on my bench for the next couple of game weeks until we get to the bench boost and start normalising my team a little bit more. But for now, Chilwell is on the pitch there against Newcastle. It's a good fixture at least for him, even if he doesn't play, but that's not really much use, is it? Then we've got John Stones, Tottenham and Everton. Stones, I kind of like the look of him playing both of these fixtures, to be fair. I really think he could play both of these fixtures. We saw in the FA Cup game that Man City played. They played against Cardiff. I think it was Cardiff. And left, I've got that terribly, terribly wrong. Stones didn't start the FA Cup game. Laporte did, which is a good sign for our Stones and our Diaz's. But then, you know, Laporte can also play at left back. But anyway, I do think Stones is going to be kind of playing regular football. I don't think he's as much of a rotation risk as a lot of people are saying. Then we've got so far West Ham out of the FA Cup, which means they're going to have no double game week in game week 26. However, they do have this nice fixture this game week against Sheffield United, so I would want to be keeping so far for this game week at least. Moving on into midfield, we've got Salah, Leicester away. Salah just does the business, you know. We know he went like 5 games without scoring a single goal, getting a single assist, but last couple of game weeks, you know, he's been on and off, occasionally getting points, so let's see what happens here. I'm struggling to captain Salah these days, if I'm honest, but there is sort of argument to say that he will get you points. But let's keep seeing what goes on with Salah. The double game week's coming up, and hopefully you can do the business there. Fernandes against West Brom, like I always say, a massively amazing quality fixture. And you know what's nice about this one? It's not so nice for Paul Pogba, but the fact that Paul Pogba is injured is really good for Fernandes. It means Fernandes is going to get further up the pitch. He's going to be more creative. He's going to be scoring more goals. I do think Fernandes, despite the fact he's one of a few players sort of that people are talking about for captain, I do think Bruno is a genuine captain choice, despite the fact he only plays 1 game this week. And the reason for that is because this West Brom fixture is so bad. West Brom ships so many goals. Fernandes is going to be playing in a more advanced position with Pogba not playing in that team through injury. Now, people will say, well, last time Manchester United only beat West Brom 1-0. It was kept fairly tight. You've got to remember, guys, this was a long time ago. There was a different manager at West Brom. There was a different system at West Brom. West Brom are actually posting some fairly decent underlying defensive numbers, when right now they are posting some awful underlying defensive numbers. So the situation is different, so it's hard to compare the two. I do understand where the concern might come from there, but trust me, guys, I really do believe that Fernandes is a good player for this game week, despite the single game week. But let's see what happens there. Then we've got Son against Man City. Honestly, I am not going to lie to you guys, I am not expecting anything from this, but like I said with Salah last week when he played City, it's the same situation with Son. I'm not going to drop a player like Son. I'm not expecting him to haul. I'm not ever going to captain him this game week, but you trust that quality players can sometimes, often perform in these difficult games. It will happen. It will happen. And you know what? If Son doesn't score, that's probably because Man City kept a clean sheet. And if Man City keep a clean sheet, guess what? I've got 2 Man City players there on my pitch in defence. So that's all good with me. And then we've got Gundogan. Same fixtures again. Tottenham at home, Everton away. They're okay fixtures. They're not amazing fixtures for an attacker. I'm not going to lie to you. They're not amazing, but they're okay. And when you add them both together, and you consider that the team is Man City, and you consider that the player is Gundogan, literally the most in-form player in the Premier League right now, amazing. Amazing. So, we really do like the look of Gundogan for this fixture. Now, also, in the FA Cup game that Man City played, Gundogan he got taken off the pitch before 60 minutes. He's got his nice little rest. He's not played a full game. Really nice to see. And that's probably going to mean that Gundogan plays both of these games. Now, the bad news with Gundogan is that Rodri has picked up an injury. And with Fernandinho, the only other defensive midfield option, maybe John Stones moves to defensive midfield, maybe. I'm not sure. There is a possibility that Gundogan has to fill in defensive midfield, and that's not where we want him. The reason we like him so much right now is because he's playing in these real advanced positions, playing as essentially a false 9. He's playing super well in those positions, so that's why we really like the look of him right now. With Rodri's injury, I don't know. Hopefully we find out a bit more information in a few days who might come into that defensive midfield position. Is it going to be Gundogan dropping back there? Hopefully not, because I think not only is that a loss for FPL, but it's also a loss for Man City just because he's been performing so well. I feel like you can't move him. So, worth bearing in mind before you captain Gundogan, but definitely a player you want in your team for this game week. Moving up front, DCL, another player I brought in with the potential double game week in this game week in mind. So there has been planning, although you can look at my scores over the last few game weeks and think, well, that's nothing majorly impressive. I have been planning a little bit, and this DCL, games against Fulham at home, really, really nice, particularly for an aerial attacker. I've been speaking about the fact that Fulham concede a lot of shots, aerial shots, shots from crosses, that kind of thing. DCL thrives off this kind of thing. So really nice matchup there for DCL. Man City game is just a bonus 2 points, really. He's not really going to score in that game, realistically speaking. We said that against Manchester United, though, to be fair, didn't we? But I wouldn't predict that DCL has an absolute haul in the Man City game, but he will get those 2 points for playing in that game at least. So let's see what he gets in the Fulham. He is a captain's option, I suppose, but not a massive one. We'll speak about that more later in the week, and we'll finish you off with Bamford against Arsenal. Not too much to say there. Bamford is very hit and miss, as we know. Arsenal are very hit and miss, as we know. Who knows what's going to happen there, but I'm certainly not going to drop Bamford. So quickly on the bench, Martinez against Brighton. You know, he could outscore Pope, but, you know, Pope's got this amazing double. I'm going to play Pope, obviously. We've got Rafinha. The bench is looking quite spicy already. We've got Adams, another player there against Wolves at home. I don't know what's going to happen there. I just don't trust Southampton that much at the moment, but I do want to keep Adams for his double game week next game week. Again, thinking about these doubles, guys. Thinking about these doubles. And then Ferguson, the ever-present, ever-injured, maybe time to take him out of the team? Is it time to finally say adios to Ferguson? Oh, I think we need a moment of silence here because that's exactly the situation. So my transfer this game week is going to be Ferguson out and Ben Mee in, doubling up on this Burnley defence. Now, this transfer is not confirmed, and let me tell you why. Burnley have a double game week in game week 24. If Leicester beat Brighton, and by the time you watch this video, that game will probably will have already finished. You will already know the outcome of the Leicester versus Brighton game. If Leicester beat Brighton, Burnley get a second double game week in game week 26. So there'll be 2 double game weeks in the space of 3 game weeks for Brighton. And that's something I really want to target a lot. It's really nice, guys, isn't it? Really nice. So that's kind of why I want Ben Mee. If Brighton beats Leicester, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not going to make this transfer. I will change my plan. The change of plan will almost certainly be, it will be instead of doing Ferguson to me, it will be doing Ferguson to Dallas. Stuart Dallas at Leeds United. So we've got that triple up on Leeds United, ready to go into game week 25, where, of course, Leeds play the double game week. Really nice there. And, of course, Leeds not blanking in game week 29 either, where their fixture in game week 29 is Fulham. Pretty decent fixture in game week 29 when everyone else is blanking. And, you know, you got yourself a nice double game week next game week. So, smiles all round, smiles all round. But I would prefer to do me. And for that reason, I am rooting for Leicester. Obviously, that might have already happened right now. But I did want to tell you that it might not be me. It might be Dallas instead, depending on the result of that fixture. Because, like I'm saying, guys, we've got to make these transfers late because all transfer decisions should be related directly to what's happening in the FA Cup right now. That's all we want to be thinking about. Who's going to be doubling up? Who's going to be not doubling up? We'll talk about that after all the FA Cup fixtures are concluded properly. We'll go through that properly, guys. Don't worry about that. But what I'm saying is try and hold off your transfers to as late as possible because the best options might very, very quickly change. Anyway, waffled on for long enough about that. But bringing in me, which is, like I say, what I want to do, doubles up on this amazing pair of fixtures. And, of course, with Ben Mee, he has been known to get a couple of goals in the air as well. Now, is that definitely going to happen? Absolutely not. I would be pretty lucky if Mee got even 1 goal. But last time I brought in a defender for a double game week, that was John Stones, and he got 2. So, hey, you never know. Me also quite differential. The fact that I'm doubling up on a Burnley defence, it's aggressive, it's risky, it's differential. And that's exactly the kind of play I'm trying to play right now. Not necessarily recommending it to you guys because it is a risk and I want you to know what I'm doing is a risk. But if I want to move up the ranks, I'm going to make some sensible risk. And I think that is what this is. Hopefully it can go well for me because I really do need a rank boost. But like I keep saying, guys, I am confident that the rank boosts are going to come just because all of the planning that I've done over the last few game weeks, it's going to start coming together now. There's not going to be COVID cancellations like there was last time. There's not going to be too many fixtures that I'm not aware of. I've done a lot of crunching the numbers and looking at various factors and things like that. And sort of checking out Twitter, see what other people are saying as well, and trying to figure out when is the best time to make my transfers, who is more likely, you know, see a rumour, for example. I saw a image go around Twitter where Manchester City were due to have an unconfirmed game against Everton. That was on the Man City's Arabic website. So it's these kind of little things that help you get this slight edge, and that sort of convinced me to bring DCL in a couple of game weeks ago. And yeah, this game week, now the fixture's actually confirmed. This is all falling quite nicely into place, and hopefully things will continue to fall nicely into place as we look towards all of these doubles and these blanks that are going to trip a lot of people up. But hopefully we'll get through these ones together and hopefully come out the other side smelling of absolute daisies. But anyway, guys, I think we'll call it there for the video, other than quick note on captains. Not final decision on captains, but just for the sake of sensibleness, because I know you guys will shout at me if I don't pick something sensible on my on my captains. For now, we're going to put the armband on Gundogan, and we're going to put the vice-captain's armband on Fernandes. Now, I do think there are some other options there. I think DCL is an option. I think Pope is an option. Probably wouldn't be looking at a Man City defender or you know, a Ben Mee or a James Tarkowski if you've got one of them. Probably wouldn't be looking at them. But yeah, that's kind of the way I'm thinking right now. But I need to do the research properly, and I need to share the research with you guys properly. We're going to do that probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, please do like the video if you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. Check out all the links in the description to OneFootball, Twitter, Instagram. Join the mini league, you can do that there as well. And of course, if you want to join the Discord server, almost 800 of us now in the Discord server chatting away about FPL, come join us. The link is in the description, of course, as well. But aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. See you later, mates. Bye bye.